What's up? Inflatable enthusiast here, and I got a super awesome review for you guys today. This is on the Gemmy 2024 16.5 foot wide by 11.5 feet tall air-blown inflatable haunted tree archway. So this is being sold at BJ's Wholesale Club this year for originally $199, so $200, but about 3 days ago they discounted it by $60 randomly out of nowhere, which is insane. That's such a great price. So it's now $140 instead of $200. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I gotta pick this thing up. So I went to my BJ's store last night and I picked it up. They had just about everything out. They were missing the NBC scene though. They didn't have that out yet. But they did have the school bus. They did have the turkey. Nothing was on display though, unfortunately, so I didn't get to actually see this in store, but I have it set up in the yard, obviously, to show you. But yeah, this is probably my favorite 2024 Halloween inflatable. I love this design. It's super cool. It looks like a classic, just the way the tree and the cat and like all the other things look. It looks like a classic inflatable, so I loved it from the start, and I knew I had to get it. It doesn't have a sound box or anything. It has blinking C7s, but it's just one in the Ghost, which I think is a weird choice. But I plan on modifying it and putting blinking C7s in all of the characters for the display. I don't have that done right now, though, so you're not going to see it because I don't have any blinking C7s on me, but I will get some for the display, and I will do that. But yeah, other than this, I don't care for the school bus or the ghoul bus at BJ's. It's, it's a cutesy kitty design. I don't care for it. The NBC scene is cool, but I don't understand the whole, like, grandfather clock thing. That was never in the movie. I mean, there was a clock in the movie over the town hall, but it doesn't look anything like the one they put on the inflatable, so that whole thing is just confusing to me. It's not movie accurate. I don't really care for it, and it's really expensive, too. And the only thing it has going for it is a kaleidoscope, I guess, so I don't care too much for that design. So this is really the only one I liked from BJ's Halloween this year. We still haven't seen their Christmas lineup, but usually BJ's has amazing lineups. Last year, their lineup was okay. The Grinch sleigh was pretty cool for Christmas, but other than that, nothing else was very, special to me. So hopefully they have a great Christmas lineup this year. But yeah, let's get into this review. So you can see at the front of the box here looks great. It shows a picture of the inflatable over a pathway. Haunted tree archway, LED. This has LED C7s. Says just giant, 16.5 feet wide, 11.8 feet tall, so not 11.5, but close enough. BJ's exclusive, lights up, stakes and tethers included. Ghost flashes white for indoor and outdoor use. Yeah, again, I don't know why they only gave the Ghost a blinking C7. They should have given all the characters one. I think that would have looked better, but again, it's super easy to modify that, so I'm not going to complain. Side is exactly the same. Then the back here, you have the height comparison. Haunted tree archway, again, BJ's exclusive, and 2024 Gemmy Industries. So, speaking of the real-life comparison, I'll show you here in a minute, too. One of my favorite things about this inflatable is the archway is actually pretty tall. I can walk underneath it without having to duck, which is very important for me because a lot of Gemmy archways they make are too short, and you have to duck underneath them to get through. So the fact that I can walk underneath this, and most people will be able to without having to duck, is great. This also has a YEF 125, which is not bad. I know a few people have complained that it needed a 200. I think it's just fine. A 200 would have been great, yeah, but again, for $140, this thing is massive. A 125 is a great fan. It takes a minute to inflate, but it inflates pretty tight. So I didn't have it deflated completely, just, kind of speed up the review a little bit. But yeah, and it gets up on its own, so I don't really have a complaint with the fan personally. And yeah, so there it is. Like I said, gets up on its own. I mean, I have it staked and tethered down, but It's an Archway. This thing would not obviously inflate on its own if it wasn't staked down because it's flat. But yeah, the arms or the branches stand up great. The characters all stand up great, like the cat and everything like that. So I'm in love with this design. I think this is my favorite 2024 Halloween inflatable. This thing is awesome. Again, it would have been cool if it added a sound box, but you know, it's not a big deal that they left it out. It's still really, really nice. I love the face on the tree. It's reminiscent of like those classic Gemmy trees, especially the one with like the flashing eyes inside like the big mouth. I love that inflatable. That's one of my favorite classics. I'd love to get my hands on it. But yeah, the tree face is great. The tree is also a nice gray color. I don't know if I would prefer a brown or a gray. I think this would look cool either way. The brown might have looked a little bit better if they chose to make it a brown tree, but again, it still looks, you can tell it's a tree. You can see like the pieces of bark sticking up at the top and that branch and everything. So it definitely looks like a tree, but it just looks like a very, you know, old dead tree with like the gray color they gave it, which is nice. But I don't know, I feel like I might have preferred brown a little bit more, but it's not a complaint. I'm just pointing it out. So yeah, on this side, we have a purple bat hanging upside down. I love it. It looks cool. It looks like that classic 7-foot bat, even though that one was black, but it just reminds me of that. The wings have, you know, seams sewn into them to give the wings kind of like their shape, and it flattens them out a little bit, so it looks more like actual bat wings, and that's an awesome detail. He has like, kind of like an off orange colored, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like a peach colored eye print and on his nose as well. The cat has the same color. It's not the same orange on the pumpkins. It's like a lighter orange color, and I love it. Especially on the cat. I think the cat looks like a vintage cartoon Halloween cat from like the 40s or 50s. I love what they chose for the face. See the jack-o'-lantern up there on top of the left branch. It's just a standard jack-o'-lantern. The ghost looks pretty nice too. He's got pieces of fabric hanging underneath him, and he has the blinking C7, which again, I wish they gave to all of the characters, but that's a very easy modification that anyone is capable of doing. And then here's the next pumpkin as well, which is actually quite large. So yeah. It also has creepy cloth underneath both of the branches, which I love. I love it when Gemmy puts creepy cloth on Halloween inflatables. Tinsel fabric is probably my favorite fabric for Christmas inflatables, but creepy cloth is definitely my favorite add-on for Halloween designs. And like I said, I can walk underneath this perfectly without having to duck. I'd say the clearance is about 6 feet, maybe, you know, a few more inches, maybe 6.5 feet. So I can walk underneath it perfectly fine. And I think most people will be able to as well, which is great, because I've owned a lot of archways in the past where you have to duck underneath, and I hate that. So that's a very nice touch. But yeah, the back of the inflatable is, of course, completely plain. Gemmy does not put detail on the back of their inflatables anymore, but it's not a big deal. I'm pretty much used to it. I think we all are. The fan is located underneath the left side. And there's quite a few tether loops on this inflatable. There's one on the bottom of the ghost, right there. And then there's one maybe on the back. Okay, no, there's just the one on the ghost, and then you can stake down the base fan. Then there's a tether up here for the actual tethers to be attached to. And then on this side, you have a tether loop here on the back. Then one on the pumpkin, and then one under here on the front, which I have staked in as well. And then on the side also another tether attachment point. So yeah, C7s also has one in the ghost, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has 8 C7s, which is great. Plenty of lighting for this thing. I think it's going to light up great at night. And when I add more blinking C7s into each of the characters, I think it'll look more like a light show, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how that looks. So, yeah. If you're a BJ's member and you like this design, definitely pick it up. Like I said, it's $60 off right now. That sale lasts through like September 20-something though, so you have a good month to buy it on sale, which is great. I definitely recommend it. I think you should go buy it immediately if you like this design, because $140 for this is fantastic. It's huge. It's definitely big on wow factor. It's going to catch a lot of people's attention, especially if you add more blinking C7s like I will. And yeah, I think this is a great entryway for a display as well if you're doing a walkthrough, which I am. So I definitely recommend this one. This might be my favorite. This might be the best Halloween 2024 Gemmy design. So yeah, anyways, that's it for this review. Thank you for watching. I'm the Inflatable Enthusiast, and I'll see you guys next time.